Be the Good is all about people doing good in the world while following their passions. Good for their own souls and for others. I'm Kate Chericello, and welcome to today's episode. If you are enjoying these stories, please subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It would mean so much. You can also join our Facebook community under the group title, Be the Good with Kate Chericello. Let's spread a little more goodness in the world.
All right, today's guest on Be the Good is Marlene Sharp. She is an entertainment industry multi-hyphenate to the nth degree, and she is president of Pink Poodle Productions, and she has her hands in so many different directions. I can't wait for you to hear from her. And Marlene is joining me from California today, so thanks so much for being here, Marlene.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
So first, please just tell us more about who you are and what you do in your own words.
Sure. So I'm Marlene Sharp, and as you mentioned, I am a multi-hyphenate. It's often challenging to explain exactly what I am and what I do because it seems like I take on new roles all the time. But basically, I am an entertainment industry person. I've worn many hats in my career. So I started out as an assistant, and then I've worked pretty much every job in show business in production, including actor. So actor, production coordinator, script coordinator, so forth. And then also I've been an entertainment industry executive. So I've worked in the offices of various folks. And doing development, distribution, marketing, all kinds of things. And right now I have my own company, which is called Pink Poodle Productions. And I have two major entities that I work with, as well as other smaller entities, I guess, and individuals. But the two major entities are Rainshine Entertainment and the Center for Learning Unlimited. And I do various different tasks of consulting, producing, advising, hand-holding. I guess that about covers it. So yeah, so that's me.
Excellent. How did you end up in the entertainment industry, and especially doing so many different sides of the entertainment industry? What was your path?
So my path was being born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and thinking my whole life that I must have been switched at birth, that there was some mogul in Beverly Hills missing his little baby mogul who got switched with some nice down-to-earth people in New Orleans who had absolutely no interest in in show business except to go see plays every now and again. And so I was not born into a show business family, but here I was, this fish out of water, and never really felt like I fit in there. So as soon as I was old enough to realize that entertainment was a business and that shows were made in places other than where I lived, I was fascinated. So it must have been about 2 or 3 at that time. I was a weird kid. Started bringing home books from the library, like how to get your kid into show business and such. And tried to do what I could in the area where I was born. And then I ended up going to all through school in New Orleans until I graduated from college. And then I went to San Diego State for a master's degree, an MFA in musical theater. And then what happened? I moved, I had a few moves. I moved up the coast from graduation, went to Orange County, worked for a while as a talent agent assistant, and was able to audition through that agency where I worked. So that was good. And then eventually moved up to LA, where I started temping. And temping really is the direct path to where I am today. So I highly recommend it for anybody who can manage it. I don't even really know if temping is that much of a thing anymore because of
Yeah,
COVID and offices and
oh,
so
true.
forth. But I guess you could be a virtual assistant. I guess that is a viable option for some people. But when I was temping, I landed in the office of a gentleman who was instrumental in bringing Power Rangers to the United States. And so I got to say, my lifelong dream was not to work in voice action series, live action or animated. That was not my dream. My dream was to be Tina Fey. If one is honest, that's the career that I wanted. That is not the career that I had. I landed in this place where a lot of Japanese cartoons were being and live action series for boys were being imported or exported from Japan, imported to the US and tweaked and put on the air and sold a lot of toys that were associated with those shows, and kind of stuck in that world. And then for a lot of years, I had a secret life of sneaking off to auditions and making up a lot of ailments to get me out of work so I could audition. And then if I booked something, yikes, then I had to make up even more excuses as to why I was going to be out of the office for an undetermined period of time. So that wore on me. And in 2013, I became offer only. So I'm not really doing the audition thing anymore, but if somebody wants to offer me something, I will do it. But now I'm more focused on growing my business and producing, and hey, if I could produce something that I could also be in, all the better. But I pretty steadily worked in the kids and family entertainment business for a lot of years, and a lot of animation, and also what else? Animation, some live action, but mostly in the kids and family world. So yeah, that's the path. Here I am.
Wow. Did that influence you creating your own production company? How did Pink Poodle Productions come about?
So I've always had a number of projects going on, even when I've had a full-time job. Quite frankly, just to make ends meet, I've had side hustles. There's been the acting for a while, and then also just writing scripts and consulting on that, and various other things related to the entertainment business that did not constitute full-time jobs, and but supplemental income adjacent to what I would do full-time. And so to take on freelance projects, I thought it would be advantageous to have a company as a public facing thing. And so I like pink and I like poodles, so that's where the name Pink Poodle. And I like the concept of pink poodles because I like the 50s and vintage stuff and so forth. So that seemed to fit. So I created the website. Golly, that was probably like in 2015 or so, when I was still working at Sega, just kind of be a glorified resume, really. And then so I did that, and then in 2019 I was working full time for a Japanese video game company called Level 5, and toward the end of 2019, Level 5 decided to close its Los Angeles office, which sadly was the end of my full-time job at Level 5. And so I did not have another full-time job waiting for me. So I decided, well, Pink Poodle will be my full-time job until I have another. And lo and behold, that has been my full-time job for the last 2+ years. I've been very fortunate in getting so much work, and a lot of clients and lots to do, even during COVID. So hence Pink Poodle Productions suck. And I call it forced entrepreneurship. So that's that's the story of Pink Poodle Productions.
Forced entrepreneurship. I like that term.
Yes.
And then it worked out. You were able to, follow that path you loved. Hey, Marlene, do you have any good news moments you'd like to share, from your various, aspects of your career over the years, people that have affected you or vice versa?
Well, something good that happened in the last week or so and was quite unexpected. I got an award from LinkedIn. And I shouldn't say I, because it's really on behalf of Women in Animation, which is a networking group that I've been a member of for a long time. And so when LinkedIn started, I was on the international board of Women in Animation, and I somehow weaseled my way into being the manager of the LinkedIn group that we started for Women in Animation. So I guess I'm nosy. I'm kind of a busybody. And so probably there wasn't a lot of enthusiasm amongst the other board members as to who was going to run the LinkedIn group. So I probably said, I'll do it. And then that was a long time, the dawn of LinkedIn. So the end of the 2009, 2010 or something, and I'm still the manager of that group. And so we've grown. We have probably almost 15,000 members of the group, people from all over the world. And it's not really that organized. It's just a platform for people who, some of them are paying members of Women in Animation and some of them aren't. They're just, and it's men, women. And it's really a forum to make some announcements for the bigger group, and then also for people to showcase their art. So I sometimes need to be the bad guy and come in and, like, if somebody is spamming too much, or like, oh, here, sign up for this class, and like when it's too salesy, I have to go in and delete posts. But otherwise it's a pretty low pressure assignment. And then we just last week got this nice letter from LinkedIn saying that our group is one of the most engaging groups on LinkedIn, and here's this little e-certificate to put in your group, and we're going to be rolling out new features in the next several months, and your group will be the first to test these out, and such and such. And so it was just really exciting because I didn't have to apply for it. I didn't have to pay for it. I didn't have to campaign for it, which is something that is very common in the entertainment industry. Yeah. If you want an award, you have to pay to enter. You have to jump through a million hoops to be considered. And then, maybe a year after all of your time and effort, you will not have been nominated, but you'll have all these ancillary materials that you've created that you want to repurpose for something else. But this was unsolicited, so it was very, very welcome. And we posted the certificate on the LinkedIn group, and people were very excited about it, because there are a lot of stakeholders, almost 15,000 stakeholders who contributed to that honor. So wow. That's my good news story.
Yes, congratulations!
Thank you.
And you said you're nosy. I'm hearing it as you're a doer. You're getting things done. You're stepping up, saying no one's doing it. Okay, I'll do it. Make sure it happens. And now 15,000 people are connecting. That's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Well, I would expect you to put a positive spin on, yes, one person's busybody is another person's doer. So I like that. I like that. That's the more acceptable, flattering term. So I like it.
There you go. There you go. So speaking of catchphrases and things, do you have any mantras, quotes that you find yourself going back to time and time again?
Yes, I have. Well, I have a few, but here are two of my top top. One is take lemons and make lemonade. And then the other one is one person's trash is another person's treasure. So those are two of my favorites. I don't know who is responsible for saying those originally. And then pretty much the whole all of the quotes of Winston Churchill. He's got some real gems. I've got a little book of quotes that I keep. And like one of his quotes is democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others. And he's got some funny ones. And success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. I love
I've
that
seen that one. I love that. Yeah.
He's you know what? I learned this on a podcast just yesterday, and it was so great that Winston Churchill is the first person to use LOL as an abbreviation. Like he invented LOL way before the internet, way before. I mean, of course he did. He's so clever. He was so clever and so wonderful. Makes perfect sense.
I love little trivia bit for everybody. There we go.
Yes. That was such a gem.
I love it. Marlene, if someone came to you and they said they want to make a difference, they want to make an impact through what they're doing, but they just don't know how to start, is there something you would tell them?
Well, volunteer for everything. And yeah, don't be shy about it. If you see an opportunity, even if it's something that may not present itself as an opportunity to other people, again, one person's trash is another person's treasure. And that is so true in this world, especially, well, when you think of all different kinds of things. Another one of my interests is thrifting. I love to go to thrift stores and garage sales. And I find so many cool things that people have discarded. And then also my little dog, Blanche, is a rescue adopted from the local shelter here in the San Fernando Valley in Van Nuys. And she is the biggest treasure in my life. And I can only assume that someone either gave her away or she got lost and no one bothered to find her. She wasn't microchipped or anything when I got her. So, but she's my treasure and so many things. So if you can just reframe stuff, and it also goes hand in hand with take lemons and make lemonade, something that might seem like a huge disappointment or tragedy. I mean, it is hard to see the good in some things, but there's usually some little grain of sand, some little thing that could be excavated from even a terrible situation, and that can be nurtured and grown into something else that's positive. So
yes, that, it's amazing you just said that too. That's come up in almost every interview of this season now, that idea of perspective, of taking a situation and turning it around for a better outcome. So like, wow, and you said it too. It's just, it keeps coming up, and it's hugely important. I mean, every single person can find that, somewhere in their lives where it's okay, how can I look at this differently? Right. So excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is very important. I think it's an important coping skill, because otherwise, I mean, acceptance is also important, because there are some things you can't change. But if you try to find something positive, it's almost like turning it into a game, like challenging yourself to find something, just the same way as you would do a word search or a puzzle or something like that. And that helps to dull the pain of certain situations.
And just like that, the brain starts to adapt. Just like you get stronger at a game, right? That muscle starts the brain starts to look for that change of perspective more easily.
Yeah. So that's your go-to, that's like your default response, instead of, oh God, I'm destroyed or whatever. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Oh, absolutely, Marlene. That is such a fantastic way to wrap up too. And now you have to tell us where we can find you, where we can follow you, see what you're up to, and Blanche.
Oh, yes, yes. So Blanche and Blanche Dubois Sharp is my furry child as well as my business partner. So our company is Pink Poodle Productions, and the website is pinkpoodleproductions.com. And FYI, Blanche is a Bichon Poodle mix. So she identifies as both a Bichon and a Poodle. So we love both. And she might even have Maltese or something else mixed in there. We're not really sure, but she's just a little ball of white fluff. So we pay respect to all little white balls of fluff as a result. So pinkpoodleproductions.com is my website. And I am a maniac on LinkedIn. That is my jam. I'm on LinkedIn as Marlene Sharp, and but I'm on Facebook as Marlene Sharp too. And what else? Yeah, those are the Facebook and LinkedIn. Those are my main social channels.
Excellent. Marlene, thank you so much.
Thank you. This has been great, Kate, and thank you for bringing such a welcome message of positivity and goodness to the podiverse. It's very refreshing, especially as a connoisseur of true crime podcasts. It is nice to have something that is not that as a brain cleanse.
Yes. Right. You want to be on the edge of your seat, but not 24/7. Right?
Exactly. You need a break at some point, and this is it.
Great. Yeah, reminder that not every person you meet on the street is gonna, kill you in your bed.
Thanks so much for listening to Be the Good with Kate Chericello. Whether you're listening on YouTube or via podcast, it would mean the world if you liked, subscribed, and or left a review. You heard about the good? Now go out and be the good in your life this week. If you have stories of good news that need to be shared, please send me a message. Thanks again, and have a great week.